What if I told you the history of the Roman Empire is hiding right there in your spice rack? Or that your dog is basically a living monument to ancient virtues? Sounds kind of wild, right? Well, we're about to dive into this blog that finds these amazing connections in, the most ordinary parts of our lives. And really, this is the whole idea behind cooking, clicks, and canines. It's this philosophy, this way of seeing a deep connection between what we eat, what we see, and the furry friends at our side. The blog's whole point is that if you just look a little closer, these three things actually tell one single incredible story. So let's dig in and see how they do it. All right, first up, let's head into the kitchen. But here's the twist. According to this blog, it's not just a kitchen. Think of it more like a living museum. Yeah, and every single ingredient in there, it's like an artifact, and each one has a story to tell. Okay, let's take oregano, for example. I mean, we all have a jar of it, right? It's just there. But what if you stopped seeing it as just a pizza topping and instead saw it as captured sunlight or a direct taste of the Mediterranean? Now that's the perspective this blog brings. It's all about seeing the epic story that's packed into something as simple as an herb. And get this, the blog actually traces its whole incredible journey. It starts with its use as medicine in ancient Greece, then moves through the loud, bustling kitchens of the Roman Empire, and lands right in the comfort food we know and love today. So think about it. The next time you sprinkle some on your pasta, you're not just adding flavor. You're actually taking part in a ritual that's thousands of years old. How cool is that? And it's the same idea with something like a classic roast chicken. You know, that timeless flavor of lemon and thyme? Well, that connects us to this huge, long line of home cooks, stretching way, way back through generations. But, and this is where it gets really interesting, the blog's philosophy doesn't just stop with us. No, this is what makes this whole thing so special. It thoughtfully brings our dogs into these ancient traditions. It's all about finding safe ways to share these historical flavors with them. It really turns history into a truly shared family experience for everyone. Okay, so we've established that ingredients have a history, but the blog takes it a step further. It argues they also have a soul. It gives each one this unique character, this story that goes way beyond just how it tastes. And they do this through a feature they call the ingredient spotlight. And it totally reimagines what an ingredient even is. So they're not just flavorings anymore. They're seen as carriers of comfort, of wellness, and yeah, what the blog calls soul. Like each one has its own vibe, its own purpose. So for instance, cumin isn't just cumin. It becomes the soulful spice, something that offers a feeling of grounding and warmth. And turmeric, that's transformed into the golden spice of life, a symbol of healing, of sunshine and comfort. Seriously, it's a perspective that could completely change how you see your own spice rack. And just like we saw with oregano, these spices are total world travelers. The blog traces these epic journeys, right? From ancient spice routes and old medicinal traditions, all the way to the cozy coffee tables and kitchens where we find them today. It's amazing. All right, now for the pivot. The blog takes this exact same historical lens and turns it from our pantry to our pets. It starts seeing our dogs not just as our companions, but as living, breathing artifacts of human history. Yeah, living history. Let's look at the Neapolitan Mastiff. The blog doesn't just see a dog, it sees a living monument. I mean, just that one phrase completely reframes the entire breed, right? It becomes this piece of living history, embodying these ancient virtues of loyalty and strength. And their history is, well, it's incredible. These dogs are the direct descendants of Roman war dogs. They're literally carrying centuries of guardianship right there in their DNA. So that gentle giant you might see at the park today, that dog is the heir to an ancient, super powerful legacy. The blog also dives into how a breed's purpose can totally change over time. Take the Portuguese water dog. It started out as this rugged fisherman's helper, a real sea voyager. And that history of being smart and loyal out on the high seas, that's exactly what shaped it into the devoted family companion it is today. Even if, its biggest voyage now is from the sea to the sofa. Okay, so let's recap. We've got ancient history in our food, and we've got living history right at our feet. But here's the thing. Those are just stories from the past unless we actually connect them to right now, to the present. And that brings us to the final piece of this whole philosophy, the art of noticing, of actually seeing these connections in our everyday lives. And they apply this to everything, even something super trendy like matcha. The blog looks right past the craze and sees the whole story. This ancient Japanese ritual that's now become a modern symbol for mindfulness and calm. And of course, they find a way to weave it into a canine-friendly life. And this is finally where the clicks come in. It's basically the glue that holds this entire worldview together. Photography isn't just about taking pretty pictures. It becomes this active tool for observing and framing all these hidden stories. It's about consciously noticing the history in a little sprig of thyme or the deep loyalty in a dog's eyes, and then capturing that moment to share it. So when you boil it all down, this is so much more than just a blog. It's a whole new way of seeing the world. It's a guide that teaches us to taste the history in our food, to find the soul in an ingredient, to honor the deep story of our companions, and, maybe most importantly, to share the joy that comes from just paying attention. And so, this whole philosophy kind of leaves us with a challenge, a question for all of us. The next time you're in your kitchen or you see your dog curled up on the rug, just look a little closer. What hidden stories, what ancient connections are waiting right there for you to discover?